Alright, welcome back. Now the Machariel has been changed quite a bit since the last video. I have replaced the tier 3 rigs into tier 4 rigs and the barrage implant has been improved as well. And so far the upgrade is quite noticeable, although I'm trying to figure out if the ISK was worth it. But I will show you the rig prices in a moment, but so far the Macario has been performing really well. Now the current DPS is 4174.76, this is the cold DPS. The build and modules are basically the same, I haven't really changed much in that perspective. And let me show you the rigs, tier 4 combat and tier 4 engineering rigs. Now this is around, I would say, 6 billion only in rigs, perhaps a little bit more, perhaps even 9 billion, because the tier 4 rigs are quite expensive. And is it actually worth to have tier 4 rigs? Well, the difference is there, you'll definitely notice the DPS difference, but when you shoot at the targets, I think that the difference isn't that obvious, but having high DPS is always going to be nice. Now I have some faction drones, I will have to replace them with the classic Infiltrator Mark 9 drones, because the faction drones are a little bit too expensive for normal use. I already lost like 2 of them, I think. 2 of the faction drones that I had on the Macario have been lost, but it happens, not a big problem. Now, the active DPS with the barrage and with the gyro stabilizers is 16,452.17. That's nice. That's definitely nice. On the test server I had 25 or 30,000 with a build like this. So yeah, I'm still far away from that number, but yeah, this looks nice. Should be able to break most tanks without much of a problem. And so far only a couple ships are able to withstand the barrage on the Machariel, or ships that use a damage control. Now, the difference between the stats on the tier 3 and tier 4 rigs is, you know, a couple percent. Although the price difference is very big. As you can see, the tier 3 burst rig costs around 60 million, while the tier 4 one costs 1.8 billion or 1.9. I bought them when they were 1.4 billion. And of course, because tier 4 rigs are fresh, they are still a little bit rare. But the difference in performance is only, I think, 3.5%, 20% on this one, and on the collision 17.5%, so 2.5% difference in the rate of fire. Now, not all rigs have the same number. I'm pretty sure the auxiliary thrusters have a difference of 5%, 20% over here, 25% over here, so the difference is 5% for the auxiliary thruster. I use warp core optimizers on the Macario, and the difference is -4, okay, and here should be -3, so basically you get +1 stab on the warp core optimizer. Now, -9 warp core stabs is more than enough, but if you want to go overkill, then you can go with the tier 4 warp core optimizers, it works. And of course, the other tier 4 rigs are currently not that widespread on the market, but the difference in price is really insane. So that brings the question: is it actually worth to have? Those tier 4 implants? Well, at the moment I would say that they're a little bit too expensive for normal general use, but it's a nice upgrade. But at the same time, I don't really think that the price is worth so much. So I would say if you have tier 3 rigs, you can easily keep the tier 3 rigs, because after all, the price difference doesn't really justify the increase in performance. Now, let's go to the first target, People wonder, where is the solo PvP? Well, I'll give you one example of me running solo with the Machariel. We have another Machariel as the target. Let me quickly lock on. I have 3 scramblers, should be enough to hold ships that have -9 warp core stabs. Barrage is enabled, and gyro stabilizers are also enabled. The Macario is losing shield. The pirate ships have decided to shoot at me, which is a little bit funny. So let me fly manually a little bit, just in case the Macario starts to shoot at me. Not really sure what they're doing. Looks like they are not interested in this Macario. And now they are into very low shield, now into armor. That Macario seems to be a shield tank, so once the target lost shield, armor will take a lot more damage. Now the Macario is into low armor. Now they are into hull. And now they have decided to lock on, okay.
We're under attack.
Damage control active, just in case. If they have barrage. I have changed the build to be able to withstand some of the incoming damage. And that was a nice kill.
We're under attack.
Let's warp out. Drones back in the drone bay. I really hope that I don't use faction drones. I know that I have a couple of them. Need to go and sell that.
Warp drive active.
And now let me take a look at the kill. 4.1 billion, not bad. Solid Machariel. My Machariel used to be cheaper than this, but now it's quite costly. They had 3 warp optimizers and overall DPS rigs. Oh, okay. Let me align and let's wait out the criminal timer. Overall, that was a very nice target. Okay, next target. We have one Praxis 2 lurking around inside of a story mission. And now we are waiting for fleet warp. A Macario fleet is something that looks really nice. The Macario might be, I think, the best looking hull design of all the faction battleships.
Warp drive active.
Perhaps the space span also looks really nice, but I really like how this angel ship looks. And that's one of the reasons why I did want to fly the Macario 3 years ago. This is basically my first Macario. Still on the first ship. Okay, there is the Praxis. Excellent. Warpin. Praxis is a shield tank. Barrage enabled. Gyro stabilizers also overheated. Well, this Praxis went down pretty quickly.
We're under attack.
That's what barrage Macariels do. Excellent for hit and run operations like this, and that was a very nice kill.
Warp drive
The
active.
Praxis 2 did use faction drones, large faction drones. They are quite expensive. 3.2 billion. C-type large missiles. Okay. Well, that's a very interesting build. Let me just quickly scroll through all that. I'll have to align myself, and then I'll just open up this window again to take a closer look at the build of that Praxis. Okay, let's align the ship. Okay, ship should be aligned. Now let's take a look at the Praxis again. So they used rapid missiles. Okay, 1 aura stab, no adaptive shield harness. That explains why we did full damage. And the build is a mix between drone damage, missile damage, and tank, I guess. Well, I think I should go and record a Praxis video, Praxis 2 video, just to just to show you how I would build that ship. The Praxis too can be interesting, and I have a couple ideas with that ship, but I will have to go and play around with the build for that ship. So, the next target we have one Armageddon 2. I'm currently in warp to the target. They should be at 100, and that means the Armageddon should not have a good tank. They have been tackled by our Vigilant pilot, and I have to arrive pretty quickly because the Armageddon has a lot of neutralizers, and the Armageddon is basically like a smaller version of the Valgorn. Okay, let me align, let me approach, my apologies, in the optimal range for the Macario. They have been engaged, scrambled and webbed. I will have to take range because the tracking might be affected for the barrage. Looks like the Armageddon has a armor tank, okay. They are losing armor pretty quickly. I will keep distance at 0. I'm not moving that fast, so the tracking will be very nice. The Armageddon is now into hole. Okay, our tackle pilot has done an amazing job to tackle this Armageddon. And the Armageddon has been destroyed. Nice. Well, that was a very interesting target. Definitely not a usual ship that you'll encounter for a mission. The Armageddon 2 is actually a really solid PvP ship, so we will not see a lot of them running missions. I would say they are quite a rare ship to stumble upon inside of story missions. Okay, now let me warp out and let me do something very funny. This is a Black Ops battleship, Black Ops Machariel, first of its kind, and let me land on the asteroid belt and then I can align myself and cloak. That's one way how you can wait out the criminal timer with bad internet connection. You don't have to worry about anything once you cloak. Just relax for 10 minutes until the timer is out and then you can continue with the PvP roam. 2.4 billion, very interesting choice for the high slots. They used railguns, armor tank, afterburner, a lot of neutralizers, Nosferatus, a lot of drones. Well, overall, interesting build. Although I wouldn't be using railguns. I would definitely be using missiles on the Armageddon because I would save capacitor. I wouldn't be using energy weapons on the Armageddon. Missiles, or perhaps even cannons. That's what I would use for the Armageddon. Now the next target we have one Dominix 2. The Dominix 2 can be a dangerous ship. They can be tanky, although most of these drone boats are actually used for missions. But one of our corp mates actually flies one, and their Dominix 2 is actually pretty good. Now there is the Dominix. They are using medium drones, an armor tank as well, but unfortunately they were aligned to the station and they have warped out. Okay, well, that means we have to go and do some of our tricks on how to catch a target like that, and we're currently waiting for tackle. Looks like the Dominix has been tackled, so let's quickly jump and let's quickly warp. Warping at 0. One last ship left in the mission. Okay, ship will enter warp any second. The warp will be a little bit long,
warp drive active.
I'm pretty sure that our tackle can hold without a problem. I thought about improving the warp speed on the Macario, but it already warps like a cruiser. In some cases, having the extra speed in warp can actually be very nice, but I'm not really sure if it's actually going to be a good idea. After all, I already have the tier 4 rigs bought on this ship, and If I destroy them, that's going to be quite expensive. Okay, there is the Dominix too. 12 kilometers, 13 kilometers. Excellent, excellent warping. They're moving, but that's not a big problem. Barrage enabled, and well, there goes the armor, and there goes the ship. That was nice, and that was smooth and quick. Did not even use all of my barrage ammunition for the Dominix. Overall, a pretty solid target. Okay, let me warp out, and then I will take a look at the kill. This time this is not the Black Ops Machariel, this is the classic Machariel with maximum possible DPS, 2.9 billion, almost a 3 billion, although still a solid Dominix kill. They had some rig integrations, I believe, warp core stabs, and a very nice nanocore. Overall, a very solid target. Okay, the next target we have one Raven. Classic Raven has been tackled in the next system, and now let me go to warp towards the Raven at 100 from the gate. Perhaps I will have to go and burn to the target, because not really sure if
Warp drive active.
it's going to be exactly 100 when I land. There's always the possibility that they are moving around approach at 15 kilometers. Although I really should set 12 kilometers, but I guess 15 will work because the inertia will throw me closer to the ship, and then I can adjust the approach angle and distance. Okay, so 74 kilometers away from the Raven, which means I have to burn with the micro updrive. This is a fast ship, so it should not be a big problem. The Raven is tackled by the frigate, and it looks like the Raven is also using an afterburner. I will be within optimal range in around 20 to 30 seconds at this velocity. The large missiles barely do any damage on the faction frigate because of the Raven's poor damage application. If that was a Typhoon, it would be a lot different. The Typhoon has a much better damage application, and overall it's a much better ship. But I guess that's just personal preference. Okay, within range, overheated. The Raven seems to have a interesting shield tank, although once barrage starts working, then the shield will be deleted pretty quickly. Now the Raven is into armor, barrage has been depleted, not a big problem. Now the Raven is into hull, and the Raven is into very low hull and destroyed. Nice. Okay, let's take a look at the wreck. I forgot to apply my own webs and my own scrambler, but that's fine. Well, definitely not the best loot, but I'm not going to complain. Let's warp out. And then let's cloak, and I will show you the kill. Because Black Ops Macario works really well. I still have the crazy DPS. Well, that's a very interesting build. Long range Raven, no warp core stabs. If the Raven was orbiting, or if the Raven was a little bit more careful at local, then we would probably miss the target because they were aligned. They were prepared to warp away, but unfortunately they didn't react on time and they got tackled. Okay, cloaked, now waiting out the criminal timer. Next target, we have another Raven. Now, Raven is quite a popular ship, although I would say the Typhoon would do a better job and would be safer, especially if you get tackled, you can easily blow up the tackle frigate or cruiser. Especially with the implant. Oh man, the Typhoon with the missile implant, with the reduced explosion radius and with increased explosion velocity. That thing is brutal. That thing is very brutal, and I love that ship. I really should start flying the Typhoon too, but yeah, currently a little bit. A little bit short on ISK, if you believe me. I know that's hard to believe at this moment, but I don't lie, I'm telling the truth. I'm a little bit short on ISK over here. Buying tier 4 rigs and a lot of new ships does have an impact on your wallet in game. Okay, we are just waiting for the fleet warp. The Raven doesn't seem to be aligned, but we have to be careful. We are experienced hunters. We basically make very little mistakes. Sometimes we make mistakes. It happens. After all, we are still human, but our success rate is well over 95%. Sometimes we mess up and the target was aligned and they warp away, or sometimes we actually lose the tackle, because it happens. All that is just part of the game and we don't mind. Okay, we are in warp.
Enemy ships
There is the
detected.
Raven, 28 kilometers, not bad. Well within the optimal range of the barrage implant and well within the optimal range of my ship. Looks like a tanky Raven, but the tank will not hold long enough. Now the Raven is into armor and the Raven has been destroyed.
We're being warp scrambled.
Okay, let's
We're
warp
under
out and then
attack.
I can take a look at the kill.
We're under
I have been
attack.
scrambled, but that's not a big problem.
Warp drive active.
Okay, ship is in warp. Let's take a look at the kill. 610 million, not bad. A rapid missile launcher build, dual adaptives, and this Raven was fit for PvP. Very interesting. Very interesting indeed. Okay, now let me align myself and let me wait out the criminal timer. Basically the usual thing. Although I really wish I had a clocking device, because bad internet connection. Sometimes if you lose connection, the ship will warp
Warp
to
drive
the station
active.
or to the target. And if you have criminal timer, you are dead. But if you're cloaked, the ship will stay in place until you log back in. Very useful little thing, that little cloaking device on the battleship. First generation of Black Ops. Black Ops PvP right here. Okay, next target we have on Hurricane prototype. Thought to use the Cinnabel or Stabber 2 for this target, but unfortunately didn't have enough time to swap ships, so I have decided to go and use the Machariel for the job. Barrage implant active, and the Hurricane got destroyed before they could warp away because I was outside of the scrambler range. That was a very nice target. And
We're
a very funny
under
kill.
attack.
Well then, let me warp out, and I think I have the
Warp
clocking
drive
device this
active.
time, so I can cloak and wait out the criminal timer. Let's take a look at the kill. 264 million, actually not bad for a prototype battlecruiser. Actually not bad. I have stumbled upon a 350 million ISK cruiser. Oh, what is this? We have a Venture 3 just chilling here. Well, that mining ship will be very surprised once they see the Macariel cloak. Okay, there we go. Now you see it, now you don't. And I'm pretty sure the Venture 3 is confused at what just happened. Well then, it was a very nice run with the Macariel. As you can see, the improved barraging plant does have a very nice impact on the speed at which we shoot down the targets. And overall, the Macario is extremely fun. I think it's safe to say that I'm starting to have more fun with this ship than with the Balgorn. With the Balgorn, I had a problem with it being too slow, clunky, and it wasn't able to hold basically anything because it only has like one point or one scrambler. But this ship is really suitable for this type of combat and this type of gameplay, and it works really well. And I'm very happy with the results that I have achieved with the Macario. So with that being said, hope that you enjoyed. Stay safe, fly safe, and I'll see you next time.
Fleet warp.
Warp drive active. Warp drive active.